mga pananaw at opinyon ng pag-uulat ng mag-uulat sa programang ito ay hindi ang pangunahing posisyon o pahayag ng pamumunuan ng organisasyong ito. The views and opinions expressed in this live report are those of the presenter and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the management of this organization. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Editorial. Today is Monday, April 25, 2022. I am Carlos Miguel Kanahashi, your host for today, and together with me is Sir Mark Betita as my technical supervisor, and we are broadcasting simultaneously on InkluRadyo and to be viewed on the next day on the Inclusion Pilipinas YouTube channel. We shall commence our presentation in just a moment, and we will be back after our commercials. Now this.
meron akong pangarap para sa aking pamilya, para sa aking kapwa, at para sa bayan. Kahit mahirap, kahit masakit, mahal ko kayong lahat. Kahit anong mangyari, ikaw, ako, tayo. Ating isisigaw sa mundo. Inklusibong may tatak, angat buhay itatahak. Matapang pa rin tayo. Ang tropa, hindi nang iiwan. Ang senyas, isang instrumento. Ilang beses matumba, tayo'y huling bababa. Luman ang ating pinagaling. Tayo ay muling luluwa. Para sa pangarap, para sa pamilya, at para sa bayan. Tayo ang ida. Tuloy ang inclusion.
Welcome back to Editoriyal. This afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, we will discuss to you about Philippine tattoo. Why is Philippine tattoo part of our culture and our arts in our society? So without further ado, here now is our topic, Philippine tattoo. Sir Mark, can you share our PowerPoint, please? Thank you. Okay, so here now is our topic, Philippine tattoo. Next slide, please. So, Philippine tattoo, ladies and gentlemen, has been part of our lives in the Philippines since the ancient period before the coming of our colonizers. It is a form of rank and accomplishments, and some believe that tattoos have magical qualities. The more famous tattooed indigenous peoples in our country reside in northern Luzon, especially the tribal groups in Bontoc, Kalinga, and Ifugao. The Visayans were also heavily tattooed. Next slide, please. Our country experienced Filipino tattooing when it was first documented in the European Spanish explorers as they landed among the islands in the late 16th century, and they called them Los Pintados, as they mistook the tattoos for paint. Before the exploration of the Europeans, tattooing was widespread, but conversion to Christianity greatly diminished the practice as heathen or low class. Next slide, please. According to Lane Wilkins' book entitled Filipino Tattoos Ancient to Modern, there are many similarities between the tattooing traditions of the Philippines and Polynesian designs, not only with their societal function and similar designs, but in the tools used to hand tap them using a needle or thorn on a stick, with a hammer to pound it into the skin. While the most common modern term for indigenous tattoos is bato. In ancient Tagalog, word for tattoos was tatak, which is similar to tataw in Samoan. Example of this is wangod, ladies and gentlemen. So who is wangod, ladies and gentlemen? Next slide, please. Wangod is a Filipino tattoo artist from Kalinga. She is part of the Butbut people of the Kalinga ethnic group, and she is described as the last and oldest tattooist. She started her life and work as a tattooist when she was 15 years old. So, the Butbut warriors used to earn tattoos by protecting villages or killing enemies no longer exist. Wang Od continues to practice her traditional art forms on tourists visiting Kalinga, especially Buscalan. Next slide, please. The National Commission on Culture and the Arts conferred Wang Od in the Dangal ng Haraya Award in Tabuk in 2018. She was nominated as the National Living Treasures Award in 2017, and her nomination was still being processed by the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. Next slide, please. True tribal tattoos in the Philippines are a rarity. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, a tattoo artist will ink these designs on clients of Filipino heritage. They frown on tattooing in general. Next slide, please. According to this slide, having a tattoo for these Highland people marks the beginning of a man's journey to a fearsome warrior. According to Annalyn Salvador Amores of the University of the Philippines Baguio campus, man can officially be named as a head hunter, where the moment he managed to mean his first skill. This will make him acquire a tattoo called gulot, which is a banded stripe pattern. When he got his second kill, he will have another tattoo that will place in his hands. The more kills he gets in his lifetime, the more intricate designs of tattoo will be placed on him. The reason why they gain the title of Maingor is because it continues until such time that he acquires a tattoo on his cheeks, which signifies him as a warrior of the highest level. The only living tattoo artist is Wang Od. Why? Because, as I said earlier, she began her career as a tattooist since the age of 15. She trained her niece in order to preserve this cultural significant art in our country. Next slide, please. Different tattoos and cultures have perspectives in tattoos. Based in history, in our world history, ancient Egyptians considered tattoos from as a way to protective markings from diseases, especially women who are pregnant. In Thailand, yantra tattoos are sacred markings on the body which act as a charm for those who wear it. Greek culture used tattoos to mark their names wherein they are treated as possessions. In our country, tattoos during the pre-colonial age was a widespread tradition that not just culminated one's life as a warrior, but it also had several connections with our animistic roots, which is our pre-ancient work before the coming of the colonizers. Next slide, please. Culture and history owes a lot of things in the arts. Without the great masterpieces from men and women of ancient period in the past, it combined both their imagination and a seed of truth interwoven in every poetic lines. Modern society might fail in understanding how their ancestors made sense of their world and how those beliefs and values are carried forward today. It's not limited to paintbrush and pens. That's why we have tattoos. Our forefathers used their own bodies as the living canvas to express themselves by means of the painful yet intricate art of tattooing. It is highly criticized by many conservative minds as a way of disrespecting and defending one's own body. Perhaps there is something more to this form of art. It requires blood and endurance before someone might fully appreciate the beauty that lies under the works of needle and ink. As we close our topic, the reason why Philippine tattoo is part of our culture is because this is part of the ancient culture in our country. Although in recent, tattoos are a historic part of the tribal culture in our country. Here in the Philippines, there are still no laws about getting a tattoo in the Philippines. Most shops follow safety rules and precautions set by the Department of Health. Ladies and gentlemen. So, what should you do if you want to get the do's and don'ts in getting a tattoo? Never settle for a cheap tattoo. They should use new needles. Tattoo shop should be accredited by DOH. Research about the tattoo artist if you must. And lastly, communicate effectively. Remember, better safe than sorry. Next slide, please. As we close our topic, ladies and gentlemen, let us move on to our election 2022 updates entitled Pulso 2022. PBA legends joined Yeng Guyao, Chot Reyes in backing Lenny Robredo. PBA legends turned coaches set aside on their own court rivalry to come together in support of Lenny Robredo as she seeks the highest office in our country. NLEX coach Ian Guyao was joined by Jojo Lastimosa, Johnny Abarientos, and Olsen Rosella in a video where they publicly backed Robredo as their presidential candidate. According to Ian Guyao, he said, sa basketball, bawal ang pabagal-bagal. Laging dapat alerto at mabilis kang kumilos. According to Rosella, he said, sa basketball, hindi pwedeng pa-absent-absent kapag may training or laban. Dapat laging present. You should show up in the most difficult times. According to Abarientos, he said, at sa basketball, hindi ka pwedeng sumuko. Laban lang ng laban. Kahit na pinipilit kang i-foul out ng kalaban. Lastimosa said, kaya ako, believe na believe sa leader na taglay ang katangiang ito. All of these can be found in your bread. Rosella topping her track record while Guyao noticed her strength in the face of a barrage of fake news thrown against her and her family. According to Rosella, ang husay at tibay ng pagiging leader hindi nasusukat sa kasarian. Lastimosa at stress, makakampi kami para sa bansa. Magkakakampi kami para sa pag-ibig ng isang pangulong alam namin makakaangat sa buhay ng lahat. The members of the PBA 40 greatest players, Lastimosa and Barrientos, and Rosella, are the latest members of the Philippine sporting world to endorse Robredo. Chot Reyes also backed the vice president. Several active athletes have expressed their support for Robredo ahead of the elections, including Keeper Ravenna and many of the the country's high-profile volleyball players. That concludes our election 2022 updates. Let's now move on to the next part of our show. It's Know Your Candidates in the 2022 elections, entitled Sino Ka? Next slide, please. So our featured candidate for today is Marietta Mindalano Adam. She's running for Senate under the slate of the tandem between Faisal Mangondato and Carlos Serapio. She is a businesswoman, a teacher, a humanitarian, volunteer, civic leader, and advocate for the Maharlikan Filipinos. She is the president of the Maharaja Tabunaway Royal Descendants of the Philippines, and also sits as well as her duties as the president of the Kesultanan Melayu Mindanao Darussalam Philippines, as well as the chairman of the manning organizations in our country. So this May 9, 2022, let's vote wisely in the elections. Next slide, please. Let's move on to the very important part of our show, which is our announcements. Next slide, please. As part of the continuing efforts to support the Hands in Inclusion Philippines organization, we urge everyone to purchase our products in the Hands in Inclusion Philippines online shop. So the products that we are selling are the t-shirts and the tote bags. For our t-shirts, sizes are ranged between small to triple XL. Prices are ranged between 325 to 375 pesos with available colors of white, blue, pink, red, green, yellow, mustard gold, and black. For the tote bags is 190 to 200 pesos. Black, white, pink, blue, and yellow are the colors. If you want to buy, please let us know and message us. Strictly payment first before purchase, and our modes of payments are GCash and Union Bank only. Next slide, please. The online shop is continued to serve in areas under alert level 1 to 4 only, with its operating hours at 12 midnight to 11:59 in the evening. For a full list of orders, please visit the Hands in Inclusion Philippines Facebook page or email us at hansin.inclusion@gmail.com. Next slide, please. We at Hands in Inclusion Philippines needs your help. To be honest, many of us have been struggling with our financial problems and our organization. So regardless, no matter what, it doesn't really matter if you're going to donate small or large amounts. This will be a great big help to our organization. So how can you do this? You may donate using GCash and or Union Bank as well. So please continue to help Hands in Inclusion Philippines for its fundraising project. We are aiming to raise funds in the organization, and we let us use this to rebuild to have a bigger, better, and a bolder Hands in Inclusion Philippines. Proceeds from the sales and the donations will go to us in the expenses of Hands in Inclusion, including the allowances for the members and the interpreters, the upgrade for StreamYard, as well as the formality of Hands in Inclusion, including the SEC registration of the organization. So guys, for those who did this, thank you very much for your continuous support in advance. So here, guys. So, if you want to donate to Hansen Inclusion Philippines for the in preparation for the webinar, you may donate using GCash on 0906-454-4366. We're targeting 30,000 pesos, and we'll be using that for the StreamYard upgrade and the allowances for the technical team and the interpreters. If you want to buy accessories from Ate Lady Jane Florese, you may message her on LG Accessories through Messenger or WhatsApp as well. Next slide, please. If you have problems with your Windows and Apple computers, if you have problems with your Android and iOS phones and tablets, and if you want to download music, games, and movies, Sir Mark Betita is here to assist you. Then if you want to avail the services, you may message him on Mark PC Laptop Repair Services. You may message him on Facebook, Mark Paolo Betita, or you may contact him at 0947-355-4759. Next slide, please. So you have some upcoming events for the last week of this month. in Best Buddies Philippines. On April 29, we'll be having Buddies Be Friends with Teacher Cha and Teacher Cheryl of Alres. And on April 30, we'll be ending our Saturday series with Teacher Lay Santa Maria of the Atma Parama Wellbeing Group entitled I Can Focus and Center Myself. Stay tuned for some of the events of Best Buddies Philippines for the month of May. If you want to join, please message or follow Best Buddies Philippines on Facebook and Instagram. They will send them a message and they will send you the registration form and the link as well. So just a reminder, Best Buddies Philippines is a non-profit, non-denominational, and a non-political organization. We support a clean and fair elections and do not endorse any political party or candidate. As members of the West Buddies Philippines community, please refrain from endorsing a candidate during the activities of the organization. Best Buddies Philippines ay isang non-profit, non-denominational at non-political na organisasyon. Sinusuportahan po namin ang isang malinis at patas na halalan at hindi nag-endorso na anumang partido o sinumang kandidato sa politika. Bilang ng mga miyembro ng komunidad ng Best Buddies Philippines, mangyari lamang kung iwasan ang pag-iendorso na kahit anong kandidato sa mga aktibidad ng organisasyon. In Best Buddies Philippines, make a friend, be a friend. Next slide, please. If you are hungry, especially for your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your merienda, or any occasion, then you want to order some of the foods on the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant. For the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant, the menus are for the all-day breakfast, tapa sobra, chicken tocino, corned beef brisket, homemade spam, and beef salpicao. Sizes arranged between solo to large and prices range between 265 pesos to 1,450 pesos. Next slide, please. For our rice trays, we have beef bulgogi, beef shawarma, beef gyudon, pork crackling, beef sport belly bird, and charred chicken and boneless fried chicken. Sizes arranged between solo to large and prices range between 265 pesos to 1,700 pesos. Next slide, please. For the sandwiches, you have the fried chicken sandwich, pulled pro sandwich, corned beef sandwich, and chicken tocino sandwich. Size arranged between regular, large, solo, and box of fours. Prices arranged between 320 pesos to 1,540 pesos. Next slide, please. For the no no okay. For the pasta, we have mac and cheese and penne and gorgonzola. Sizes arranged between solo to large. Prices arranged between 290 pesos to 1,350 pesos. Next slide, please. For the ways to order, you may head over to the Sobra Comfort Food website, select the dishes you want to order, choose between pick up or delivery, pay conveniently through any of the same integrated payment methods, and your order is confirmed. Please expect updates via your text or your email. Next slide, please. If you want to crave for something Korean, then you want to order some of the foods from the Kuya Korea restaurant. The menus are for the rice bowls, beef bibimbap, beef bulgogi, pork samgyup, and K-pop chicken. Prices arranged between 195 to 220 pesos. For the boneless popcorn chicken, it's half the whole. Prices arranged between 235 to 435 pesos with the flavors of gochu, ganjang, chicken, and K-buffalo. If you want to order there, please check the Kuya Korea website for the menu and for your orders, and it's also available on Grab Food as well. Next slide, please. On April 30, 2022 at 2 p.m., the LaSalle College of St. Benilde, Manila and Antipolo campuses will have the virtual commencement exercises for 2021 to 2022. So on behalf of Anthony Inclusion, we'd like to congratulate our Benildians who are graduating for first term 2021 to 2022 and also for doing ordinarily things extraordinarily well. Next slide, please. Actually, we only have 5 days to go before we will have our first webinar series for this year entitled Inclu Talks, Aware for Autism. The event will be done at 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Hands in Inclusion Philippines Facebook page and also to be viewed on the YouTube channel of Hands in Inclusion. Next slide, please. Lastly, follow Hands in Inclusion Philippines on our social media pages and its digital platforms as well. This will be a great big help to us and we may do this as early as now. Follow us on Facebook, Hands in Inclusion PH, InkluRadio, InkluSports, InkluNihan, InkluGaming, and the online shop. Twitter, HNI Pilipinas, Instagram, Hands in Inclusion PH, Kumu, HNI Philippines, and subscribe to the YouTube channel of Hands in Inclusion Pilipinas. So guys, for those who did this, thank you very much. Next slide, please. So now is the time for our greetings. Okay, to Sir Mark Betita and to Miss Lady Jane Torrese, good afternoon to you and thank you for watching. And from Sir Mark Betita, shout out to Antropang PWD, Lady Jane Florese, Annalyn Lopez, Sayuri Garcia, Cherry Anchel Aquino, Jason Delegencia, Rosemary Sorondo, Tere Gomez, Nina Marie Sabado, the Palmera Boys, and the Betita family. And to those who are celebrating their birthdays today, happy birthday and expect the more birthdays to come. To those who are celebrating their anniversaries, happy anniversary as well. For me, shout outs and greetings to my family, to Hands in Inclusion Philippines, Best Buddies Philippines, Best Buddies Renewed, and other PWD organizations, especially to my high school and college friends. To those who are watching, it may be a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you guys are in a good mood, but if not, you may use this time to improve on your mental health and your well being as well. To those who are watching me on InkluRadio, thank you very much. And if you missed this episode, it will be premiered on the next day on the Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure. Next slide, please. As we close our topic, here now is our word for the day. According to Nestor Castro, the anthropology professor of UP Diliman. Wang Od is not just an individual artist, but she is also a member of the Butbut tribe of Kalinga. Her skill on the art of traditional tattooing is derived from the indigenous knowledge of generations of Kalinga ancestors. Okay, Sir Mark, can you disable the share screen, please? And open cam as we prepare to wrap up our show for today. Okay, that's a wrap for editorial for Monday, April 25, 2022. I'll be back again on Wednesday at the same time for the editorial Wednesday edition. On behalf of Hands in Inclusion Philippines and InkluRadio, I am your host, Carlos Miguel Kanahashi. Together with me is Sir Mark Betita as our technical supervisor. May awa ang Diyos, makakaraos po tayo. Sama-sama tayong lalaban para sa pangarap, pamilya at bayan hanggang sa ating tatak para sa One Inclusion Nation. Di magandang hapon at pagpalain nawa tayo ng Diyos ng buong may kapal. Ngayong ikalima ng anibersaryo, makatotohanan ng inklusyon, angat buhay ang solusyon. Sa HNI, posible. Pilipinas, God first. HNI, God first. Thank you very much for watching. Have a blessed afternoon to all and a goodbye for now. Bye-bye and thank you.